All right, here we are back again. It's been a while, and I'm not saying that this is going to lead to more videos in a sporadic sort of way. But anyway, we'll just see what we can do. Life's gotten in the way. I'll post a bit more about that, and hopefully in the coming weeks. I don't know. We'll see how we go. But something interesting today. Are going to break away from things a little bit. I think people are really going to enjoy this topic. It's about this guy I went to school with, primary school and high school, and he turned out a couple of years back to be a sexual predator. And the only reason I'm bringing this up is I was having a conversation the other day with my brother about it. He doesn't remember him. I think he might not have been. He might have been a bit. I think it might have been. Yeah, I don't think they were at school together at the same time. And then I found out earlier this year this guy actually got a sentence reduced. And anyway, so I'll go through this thing and I'll share a little bit of my insights into this. And yeah, let's go from there. All right, cut through it all. Let's get to it. All right, so this guy, his name is Andrew Benn. I'm just checking, I've got the phone here, so checking it. 5 years ago, so God, it would be 2018, it would have been. He was jailed for at least 30 years after befriending teenage girls and young women on Facebook and other social media sites and then sexually assaulting them. Andrew James Benn, 29 at the time, raped or indecently assaulted 14 teenagers and young women he met on social media, including Facebook, Tinder, and Snapchat, between September 2012 and January 2017. He pled guilty to 33 charges, including 21 counts of sexual intercourse without consent, for a total of 40 years with a non-parole period of 30 years. Yes, depraved. Well, he's not wrong because he's pretty much copped to everything. I think he actually tried to blame the drugs, and there's something interesting. I'll go into that in a minute. So he's depraved. The way he treated his victims was nothing short of despicable. That's true. It actually says here that one of his victims was raped at a cemetery. Yeah, very much a parasitic. I hesitate to call him a man, but anyway. So you go through Facebook pages of random young women in New South Wales, searching for victims and sending them friend requests. He befriended them, he gained their confidence, and then arranged to meet in person before attacking them. So there was one instance where he actually said to the woman he'd like to go watch the sun. It was the sunrise, I think. In one case, he sent a Facebook friend request to a 17-year-old girl in November 2013 and spent weeks chatting to her online. And then he convinced her to meet him. She was in year 11. Told him she'd never been on a date before. She thought he was going to drive her into Newcastle, but he went to another place in Morpeth, in Maitland, and raped her in the back seat. Then he drove the terrified girl to the Morpeth cemetery where he raped her again. Very, very psychological, really, like doing it in a cemetery. Like, and he used threats against all these people, actually, to claiming he had ties with the motorcycle gang and all that. I mean, the guy's a dweeb. He was a dweeb when I was going to school. But I'll get into that part in a minute. But I was reading before as I sort of refresh myself on this whole thing. He actually I think his mobile phone was the most incriminating piece of evidence. Gave him away pretty much, and I think it was um, mostly a thing about how he's. I think there was something featured in there about how to make crack. Can you make somebody put something in crack to make somebody have sex with you, or how to make somebody more delusional when they're on crack or something? It's like, well, they're already delusional when they're on the stuff. So he didn't do himself any favors, really. Like, I think, um, yeah, despicable behavior. And the fact that he got put away for a long time, he did appeal that. I think he's got 5 years slashed off that. So, um, but going to the story a little bit about him. So I went to school with him, like I said. So I was 2 years above him. To be honest with you, yes, I did say he was a dweeb, but I don't recall having any issues with him. Um, like there were some people in his year, and they were pretty, um, I don't know what you'd say, um, dirt bags, I guess, at that time. Not going to name names. Nobody really knows them anyway. And I don't think anybody would really care too much. But, like if you'd said to me, hey, by the way, I've, like if I was to stand there and somebody come up to me and said, here's a list of all these people from that year, and one of them has actually recently been done with being a sexual predator. Which one do you think it is? I wouldn't have picked Andrew Benn. Let me just say that. But um, now, uh, so I guess the lesson here, because this is a Lee Learns channel, is you just can't pick people. Some people give off those creepy vibes, and sometimes they're, well, not creepy vibes, but they look more like they would date rape you, I suppose, and they don't. Obviously, they're not engaging in that. Now, other people look like the boy next door, and he's off like doing some crazy, sick, twisted stuff. So, you just never know. I guess Ted Bundy's probably an example of that. Although, knowing what we know now about Ted Bundy, I think you can't look at him without getting the creeps. Yeah. So, whole thing is a little bit crazy. But anyway, in 2012. So I finished high school a few years before then, and was a very late, what would you say, participant in Facebook. So I resisted it for like the 4 years or whatever it had been around. Got on there in 2012, and I saw Andrew Benn's profile come up. And I didn't know anything about Facebook. I don't know what the go is. Like, I just think you add people and then you just chat with them. And there's something to say about that, about Facebook and all that, isn't really the, I would say it's not really like that. Um, not the best at keeping in touch with people on there. It's not the best tool for it, but his thing popped up, and I sort of looked at him, and I remember he had in his picture he was like out somewhere, like at a club or something, and he had a couple of girls there. And I thought, oh, okay, oh yeah, I remember him from school. Yeah, all right. The name of this game is to just add people, so I'll add him. And then I think a few months later, for some reason, he decided to unfriend me on there. It's weird, like, um, so in one way, it's like, haha, sucked in, you're in jail because you unfriended me. No. Oh, it's weird to when I looked at that, and it's like he was doing stuff in 2012, and it's like, all right, he's on there at that time doing that sort of thing. That's really I don't know. Don't know why. I don't know. It's just my head. It's crazy. He decided that, hey, this guy's no good. I'm going to unfriend him. Meanwhile, he's out there doing this to women. It's like, okay, well, it's funny it's odd when people who are atrocious people decide that somebody else deserves to be unfriended or something, or deserves some sort of treatment elsewhere. Oh, he's really annoying. Yet I'm raping girls. Like that's unreal to me. So anyway, best thing you could have done. I wouldn't want to be associated with a guy like that. Yeah, the thing recently, all this stuff, him appealing all that. I just think you did it. You've copped to it. They've got evidence of you doing it. You've caused these girls all this kind of trauma. These girls have struggled. Some of them have tried to kill themselves. You've got other ones who have got PTSD, nightmares. They couldn't tell their parents about this lunatic, and he's a coward. I mean, really, he's a coward. I hate to say it. I mean, but somebody like that deserves to be put out of their misery. That's pretty much it. I don't think his family give a crap about him. Anyway, it's kind of interesting. Come from a town where you have a guy like that roaming around, and this was a Catholic school, and we had the Catholic priest who was up to no good. Like, holy hell, all this seedy sort of stuff going on. But we were talking, my brother and I, about, people go to jail and then all of a sudden they become religious. It's like Jesus must be in all these prisons. It's kind of like that meme with the toast, where it's like, hey, I decided to, rise again and come back to earth, and now they found me on a piece of toast. That's my ideal place. I'll just show up on a piece of toast. Well, it's like he's in all these prisons around the world, and it's like, if Andrew Benn ever decides that he's going to go down that route and be a born again Christian, or I've become religious, or like I did the wrong, like I'm reborn, or in God's image, or whatever trash he wants to come up with. I would kind of go, well, you spent your formative years at a Catholic school and you didn't find God there. So don't think he's going to be found after you've pretty much been sent to jail, raping and sexually assaulting and blackmailing all these women. Yeah, I think that's about it. Just thought I'd do this video. Not much of a story, I guess, but it's just something that has happened. I don't have much recollection of him in high school, just primary school. Yeah, crazy stuff. But anyway, I'm going to try and do more videos. Just going through a lot of different things happening. Going through this crazy thing called life, I guess. We got life going on. And yeah, a lot of stuff going on anyway, but I'm gonna try and keep you all updated. But I hope everybody's doing well, and I shall chat to you later on.